Aloha! I'm Elsa Flores, and I welcome you to my studio. I'm here to document the process of my return to painting for the exhibit at Fremont Gallery in November 2010. It's been a long time since I've painted, but I've never stopped making art, and I'd just like to let you in on a little bit about the story, the history, the herstory, all that's involved in this return to painting for me. I'm going to share my studio, I'm going to share some insights, and I welcome you on the journey. Here's a studio that I had for many, many years. The studio has transformed into a whole bunch of different studio production, art production. And right now, it's a painting studio. I return to painting. These are years of my work that have never been shown. Here's my palette. This is something I'm working on right now. And more paintings, more storage. So much here. And new work to come. So, let us begin. Aho. You might wonder why I was stepped away from painting for so long, and there were many reasons for it. One of the biggest reasons was that I am a multimedia artist, and although painting is my first love, my first passion, and probably what I do best, I'm so interested in so many other medias. I enjoy photography and public artworks. I have quite a few public artworks out in the city. I enjoy performance art and music, and recently ventured into filmmaking. As most of you probably know, my late husband, Carlos Almaraz, was my partner for about 10 years. We were friends for 17, and we have a daughter, Maya, who's now 27 years old. And Carlos died of AIDS in 1989. It's a big part of my history, and a big part of why I kind of had to step away from my own work, because he asked me to take care of his estate, and he said I would know what to do. So it was a great, great responsibility for me to do that. And I did it because of my devotion to him, because of the belief I had in his work, because he didn't want to be forgotten, and I didn't want him to be forgotten, and now I know he never would have. But at the time, my priority was to honor his wishes, to keep my family going, to maintain a certain lifestyle that we were used to, so that my daughter, other than having her entire world rocked by losing her beloved father, that she not have more of her world taken from her. So I wanted her to remain in the private school she was in, and I wanted her to stay in our neighborhood. And I had to take the reins, and there was a lot of resentment for quite a while. I felt angry for many reasons, all the stages of grief, anger, denial, etc. But the anger came in the fact that Carlos left me alone to deal with all of the business, which he was such a master at, and I had to do it. You know, and in doing so, I had to sacrifice my own work, the focus on my own work. And gladly, I didn't even think about it. I just entered that. It wasn't until later that I started feeling the strain of that in my creative output being dissolved into his career. I've now, after 20 years since his death, I found the balance and am returning to my work, as well as taking care of his legacy in all the ways that I can and still do. And I am grateful to him, and I love him and miss him very, very much. Oh, there's my phone. There's Carlos. A young Carlos in his Nehru passport photo. And Carlos in his chonies on Kauai. Here's a painting I did. Painting. All right, so back here at the studio, and I was speaking about the responsibilities of keeping Carlos's life and name in the public eye. And I'm very proud to know that I did my best and that he will not be forgotten. So now the task is mine. And the task is to show my stuff. And I'm going to immerse myself in my painting for the next few months. And at the end of this little photo documentary, you will see what was produced from my intent, from the visions I've received. A very interesting part of this process is that when I left painting 7-8 years ago, to this day, I'm a very, very different person. So it's interesting how that will be reflected in the work. It's also interesting in beginning to paint is that it's like riding a bike. I still got it, and I know what to do. In fact, I had in a vision quest recently, the message given to me by a grandmother in the form of an owl when I asked about the new visions for my work was simply, you know what to do. And I do, and I'm grateful for that. So here we go on this ride, this journey into a new era for me and my work. Thank you so much for joining me. Aloha.